So then Gurdjieff did this, and he established a lineage, and I went to study it from a very different kind of person, as Don Karen's, than you usually encounter in spiritual practice, which is these people who are not New Agey, they're European intellectuals, they're usually very successful in the publishing business, as artists, scientists. They lived in beautiful apartments in Manhattan, and I had to go there at 4:30 in the morning, which at my age then, or around 18, meant that there was no point in going to sleep. But it was nice, and it was serious, and they did good things. I studied with a bunch of those teachers. So if we look at what they were teaching, and then we look at what Zen was teaching, the thing that one way of talking about it is you're talking about mind. And that's what we'll be looking at. Mind. Your mind, but mind is also mind. It's not just your mind. With a slight shift and some practice, you'll see that mind is something you partake of. It's not just your personal self. There is mind that is universal. Don't take my word for it. You have to see it. That's what you see when you work on koans, when you work on mu. You see mu is emptiness, what the Buddhists call emptiness. Emptiness is mind. Emptiness is the thing that contains what we think of as mind, our thoughts, our beliefs, our sensations. But there's a thing that contains it called mind. Really, it's not born, it's not destroyed, it has no size, it fits any package, you can put it in anything. It's an ideal Walmart product. So we looked at one state of mind last week, and we're going to look at another today, as a group. My observation has been that on a day-to-day basis, we fluctuate in our mind. We go up and down, up and down, up and down. And we're in different states, and we'll look at one of them. I have a favorite story about this, which I haven't told for a long time, so I think it's time to take it out, and think about what it means. You all hear this a little differently. So what it's about is this person goes to find truth, and they hear that there's a holy person, let's make it a woman in Tibet, who knows the secret of life, how to live forever, and all that. I quoted you, Woody Allen, saying, I don't want to become immortal through my work, I want to do it the old-fashioned way by living forever. So this person wanted to do that, and they went to Tibet, and they trudged through the snow, and it's very miserable, and they do all these things. And I'm thinking of Rebecca, who's now doing a retreat in the monastery that I studied in, and she's feeling just about like that person. It's really tough, and she got there a week early before the training period, so she only has to get up at 4:30 instead of 4. And she'll be sleep deprived and sitting hours and hours making, anyway, but she'll be happy when she's done. So this person did that, and eventually they find the teacher. And they go over to the teacher, and he asks her, do you know the secret of life? And she says, yes. He says, will you tell me? She says, sure. And he says, when you tell me, will I then, like I'll live forever and all that? She says, yeah, all that. So he says, would you tell me? She says, sure. Don't eat any food you like. No. 2, don't engage in activities that involve you or are entertaining. 3, do not hang out with any attractive people. And he says to her, and if I do that, I'll live forever? And she says, no, but it'll seem like it. I really like that story. And it does point to something which I don't think I need to elaborate on, but which is that whatever's going on out there for any of us, we see it through the filter of what we understand in our minds. And it can be no different than what we're capable of seeing. Many of us, by the time we are 8 or 9, we really can't see like we did before. Not that we want to go back to being 6 or 7, but you know, if you think about how a tree used to look to you, or certain activities felt to you, that's gone. And some of that can come back, and other things can come back. But the belief systems, the ideas, the fears, everything like that becomes our possession, and it becomes what we see the world through. What you're doing, which I pointed out to many of you before, is really you're doing a training, and one of the most important parts of that training is to stop believing what you believe. You don't have to believe what I believe, and you don't have to believe what anyone believes. We don't want you to believe anything. And then go forward from there based on your experience and everything else. Imagine what it would be like not to believe anything. It's not a big deal. It happened to people throughout history. It happened to Euclid. He stopped believing that when it thundered, that God was mad at him. There was a belief before that. Or that when it thundered, it was time to sacrifice your oldest daughter. You know? People have had some interesting beliefs. So last thing, the beliefs we have the most, and if you really look at it, as I say, don't take my word for it, just look at your daily life, is fear. We have a tremendous amount of fear. And it's mechanical, it happens by itself, and it ruins our lives. In the Buddhist tradition, we say the job of the teacher, more than anything, is to take your fear, to help you with your fear. It's nice foundation. As we study this and we go forward, please, the thing that I learned so you wouldn't have to is I did the monastic thing and I lived my life. None of you is going to study in a monastery, I don't think, except for maybe a week or 2 at a time. So this practice is about your life. That's where it has to manifest. It's not against your life. It shouldn't divide you with your life. So it should affirm your life. You should be happy in your life. Enjoy your life. Think of how nice your life will be with a little less fear, with a little less anger, with a little less inertia. And we're going to work on inertia today. Okay? So, okay.